Today, on The Power of Framing, we'll kickstart the week with a short story to frame a new virtue and gain a renewed focus. Are you ready? Let's step into the vault. Welcome to Monday. This week, we are diving in to self-regulation with my man, Matt Solowinski. Get your questions in. We can take two more, and then that's a wrap, and you only have one day left. They're flying off the shelves, but we're taking a good chunk because people have started responding. So engage with this man. You don't want to miss it. And as I thought about how I want to frame this virtue with you, I'm bringing a scout sniper, a Marine Corps Master Sergeant. So a mix of that with dealing with my three beautiful maniac children and their strong spirits and their zest and the power that they have inside of them. This is such a good topic, whether it be viewing it from a personal standpoint as a man, as a father of really intensely wild little girls that are just so much fun, but such a challenge, or just as a Marine that's done this for 23 plus years. It landed on thinking about weapons, guns. It's fitting for Matt. This guy can unpack it, but there's a lot of connections. So before I dive into a short story to frame this for you, I want you to ask yourself, what does it take to control and to pull your trigger? Let me tell you a story. So we're going to rewind my game tape 35 plus years. So it is winter of 1989. As those kids are saying these days, the late 1900s, whatever you need to say to make yourself sleep better at night. I don't care what you call it. That's the year. And leading up into Christmas, of course, we would always share our wish list with our parents. And I had been asking for a pump action BB gun from my parents for as long as I knew what it was. And it had been a while. And this is one of my first memories of Christmas time. I can remember maybe like the year before and some other things, and I would usually get some G.I. Joes. But this year was special because my heart really, really wanted something badly. And I voiced that to the people that I knew could probably make this happen for me. And the answer was, okay, well, maybe ask for it for Christmas. So it wasn't a no, but it was a not now, and maybe we'll use this as an opportunity to give it to you. We'll find out. Man, talking of self-regulation, first of all, I promise you, this story and life in general is laced with examples of little ways that you experience and struggle with it, and also ways that if you're in a leadership position or just a friend or a father or a husband, you can help culture and cultivate this virtue. I didn't see it all then, but that's exactly what my dad and my mom were doing. So we get to Christmas Day. And let's be honest. I'm going to be honest. Mom, you already know this. Dad's already gone. He knew it too. We would always sneak into their room and try and find the gifts. And so we would send each other on little warpaths like, hey, go, Josh, go find out if mom got me this. Sometimes we would find out. I think sometimes they probably put things in obvious places. So we would find easier gifts that they didn't care. Okay, they got us new pajamas or new socks this year. Maybe they'd leave those in a place where we could find them. But the important gifts, man, they were good. We couldn't find them. Who knows where they put them to this day? But we found some. We didn't find some. And the one I was really hoping to find, and I put my sisters on the warpath too. Like we were looking for this pump action BB gun because in their minds, they're older. They're like, dude, Josh gets this. That means we can also probably shoot it with him. And we were all excited. I had been already at a young age up to the Upper Peninsula in Michigan with my dad when he went hunting. And I just knew it was something I wanted to do with my man. I was like, dude, if you get a gun and you give it to me, then we can go out shooting together. One day I can go hunting with you. It was just a cool time. So, warpath unsuccessful. Have not found the BB gun. Christmas morning comes. We had already opened our Christmas gifts on Christmas Eve for the pajamas, the socks, a couple small little things in the stocking. And then under the tree. And I was like, man, nothing under there looks like the shape of this BB gun. And I had one specifically that I wanted that I just knew they're going to get it for me. I'm going to get what I want. And I hadn't yet. And I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm scouring under the tree and none of the boxes look the right way. So my sisters set the little gift corners off to the side. Josh, here's all of yours. Here's Jeanette's. Here's Micah's. We sort of take turns. Mom and dad are probably exhausted, smoke checked. Now, as a parent, I appreciate that. But they're just beaming with joy to watch their kids beaming with joy. And we open all the gifts, and there's no gun. And man, I did my best to mask discouragement, to mask sadness, to mask the fact that I didn't get what I wanted when I thought I should have it. I couldn't indulge in the things I wanted. It sucked. I was a little bit pissed, but I said thank you. I was raised to be respectful and loving and kind and all of the things. So I was pretty stoked. I started playing with G.I. Joes, ripped them out of the box, brought out all of their buddies, set up a little fort. Yeah, there was like my sister's Barbies around. So we're setting up fake attacks. And I just loved playing with G.I. Joes back in the day. So that was a good gift. And we were really grateful for what we had. And then my dad, I'll never forget this. He said, "Hey, I'll be back." And something inside of me sort of paid attention, sort of didn't. I was like, "Yeah, we're done." Because he waited a little while. Like he didn't just jump back into his room. He said, "Hey, I got to go back to the room. I'll be back in a second." Just took it like nothing of it. Okay. And then I remember this like it was yesterday, man. He comes walking back down the hallway. And I think it was my sister Mike was like, "Josh, look." And dad's walking, and clearly he has something behind his back and he's trying to mask it, but it's a long box and it's wrapped. So I could see this pretty decent sized box and he's hiding it decently behind himself. And he goes, "Hey, buddy, come here." And man, I was through the roof. I was like, "Oh, could it be?" He's like, "I don't know. Just open it. Just open it. See what it is. It's fine. One more gift." And so my sister's, I wish you could see Micah's face. If you know her, she might have been more excited than I was. Jeanette's sitting there, tickled pink, just beaming with joy and excitement of like, "Ooh, could this be it?" So I ripped through that thing about as soon as he hands it to me. And it was a BB gun. And then he handed me a box of Copperhead BBs. And I have never left a man behind so quickly. And by man, I mean all of my G.I. Joes. It's not how we're raised in the Marine Corps. You never leave someone behind. I did. I left them right there in their little fortified ambush of Barbies on the couch in the living room. Paper was everywhere. And instead of cleaning up, I just looked at dad and he was like, "Go outside, dude. I know you want to, I know you want to play with this." So I go outside and he walked out with me. And Marines will hear this and they'll see that this sounds very close to 4 weapon safety rules we're taught. But not only was there a lot of self-regulation and self-control and patience baked into leading up to receiving the BB gun, there was always a life story with dad. But we get outside, and before I even started using this BB gun and shooting it, there was some regulation, there was some rule, there was some order, some discipline in his expectations for me of how I would handle this weapon. And he went through a pretty long list of, hey, you always check to make sure your weapon is cleared out, that it's safe. You never take a weapon and just assume that it's not loaded. You always check it. So hand it to someone cleared out. You never point it at people or something you don't want to shoot. So you're always aware of your muzzle safety and where it's pointed at the ground. You need to know how far a round of ammunition will travel outside of your weapon when you pull the trigger. So you don't just shoot with wide open behind you. So you know what's beyond your target. You know what's between you and the target. You're aware of your surroundings. Just so many good rules. You don't put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to fire. Then when you do fire, you control your breathing. You don't muscle it, on and on and on. And he knew this was a lot, but he was there with me every step of the way to walk me through what to do. And we started plinking targets pretty quick. So much to unpack from that story that resonates in my mind, especially thinking about exploring this with Matt and Off the Hinges. But It is a matter of the heart when you think of self regulation. It's a spiritual matter, it's something inside of you. You might not be able to physically put a finger on it, but when it's underused, it can hurt you. It can look like self indulgence and things and outcomes that might feel good on the quick win, on the quick turn. But in the long run, you know it's not good for you, whether it's something you eat, whether it's an action you do, whether it's promiscuity, you name it. You know what it is for you. You know what it is that's your trigger that you need to control. Or maybe at times you need to pull, but not yet. And on an overuse side, maybe it looks like inhibition. And that can also be harmful. Coming off the heels of honesty and exploring that with my sister and unpacking it more with Fred, this is a really, really important virtue. And I want to give you some space to think about what it means for you. But I'm going to read something, and whether you be a believer, a husband or a wife, a father or a mother, a child, a friend, a business owner, it doesn't matter. Whoever you are and wherever you are, this is a difficult one to grapple with. And it's a matter of the heart, but a way to reel it in and a way to practice and display self-regulation. It can be driven, actually, I believe, completely by the mind. And by a mind, it's transformed. And there's a way that we try to frame this for our children, and the way that people can see the fruit of what's inside of you through your actions. I'm going to read this for you. I'm going to leave this with you. And then you get to unpack this and wait for such a good episode this week with Matt. You don't want to miss it. What does this look like the way the Morano family frames it? In action, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control or self-regulation. So this week, I really want you to wrestle with this. Ask yourself, what does it take to control and to pull your trigger? I'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Power of Framing. Follow Foundational Coaching on your favorite social media platform, where I'll meet you on Wednesday and you can ask me anything you want. I'm honored to be a part of your story today, and I'm proud of your growth, my friend. I can't wait for our next time together, exploring the vault.